テストをやるぞ。
Statue of a buckled cage inside a city full of criminals. Let's take a closer look, Sherry.
Can I ask you a question?
I would like to help a companion in misfortune, but I know nothing about this.
May I ask you something?
No, I don't know anything, friend.
Time to check your who, what, and what, Sherry. Who are you
Could you help me?
about
I
what
would like to help
interest
a
is what?
companion in misfortune, but I know nothing about this.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
I have heard many strange things, but nothing about this.
It used to contain a silver statue of a miner's canary. They were often used by miners to detect fire damp. For the ones who gave their lives in the silver mines, for the safety and prosperity of Miners' End, 1830. The lattice work was bent a long time ago. A gloomy picture.
But quite poetic. A symbol of safety and prosperity has vanished from Miners' End, and now only the cage is left to remind the residents of their past glory.
The canary was stolen a long time ago. There's no hope in finding it now, but perhaps someone might know at least something about it. We should ask the people around here. Could you help me?
I'll tell you what I know, mate.
My grandma, God bless.
The thief died in grief. A poetic story for such an unpoetic place.
Safety is gone, and tears take the rest.
What else do you need on a hot day like this?
So the treasure is real, but tell me, John, how did you even guess there would be something on top of the monument?
Didn't I ever tell you about my psychic abilities? I should have. I even know where we ought to go next. I always admire the way you noted such details.
In such moments, I often recall Mother's voice teaching us of the importance of the smaller details. The world hangs on small hinges, John.
Even the most chaotic miracle becomes sequential when you take a closer look. I remember.
Good day, sir.
Merhaba. Good day to be alive.
And, by extension, a poor day to take a bullet. Why are you just standing there?
I came to take the deceased to the cemetery, but caught sight of Mother Nature's bounty and had to drink my fill. He won't mind anyway. Let me tell you, friend, the sweet sea air, the calming whisper of the waves, it's a salve for all ills.
Do you know what happened here?
Officer said there was a duel, shots fired, and then that fellow took his last breath. Reminds me of last year.
So the inspectors have been and gone?
Of course. Police don't let an undertaker do his work before they've finished theirs.
Who died?
Oh, no, mister. It is not my place to say.
Not your place. Nonsense. As you say, he won't mind.
Death with dignity, that's all we can hope for, sir. He doesn't need his name out there.
You mentioned a previous incident.
It was in the old city ruins. I remember the deceased was very rich. Front page news, very, very rich he was. But a coin makes a poor shield, as I always say. And who needs it when a view like this is free?
We're done.
This man is no more. He's ceased to be. He's expired and gone to meet his maker. He's stiff, bereft of life. He rests in peace. You know the rest.
this can't be right, Matthias. Murder? Impossible.
Good thing we helped him escape. Now focus, Sherry. Let's remember how we did it.
We snuck in when the archives were empty and found something on the archivist's table.
A top-secret map of catacombs beneath the prison, allowing us to rescue Matthias.
No, that's not right. It was something else. Let me focus on it. Ah, of course. It was the shift schedule. We wanted to know which officer was on prison duty that day.
Ah, that's not how I remember it. Or maybe... Yes. We went to find the officer's desk. That's where the map was. It's in here, Sherry. Focus on yourself and it'll all become clear. It was near one of the desks. You'll see which when you focus.
We waited until no one was around, then searched the desk. You were on lookout, John.
Do you recall what we found here?
I remember a book with wax stains damaged by humidity. The officer used it to keep him company during long prison shifts. A half-eaten tuna sandwich. It was carefully wrapped in a hand-stitched kerchief. You almost took a bite, John. There was a chain of keys. We found something here, John, and something else. It was a police billy club, new, but already stained with blood.
What's important is that we found keys. By my memory, we crept to the prison cells immediately. Let's go.
This area is restricted.
jail we go.
This area is restricted.
What a long day. Excuse me, but are you Mr. Capello? My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm hoping you could spare a moment to talk.
Manners, what a pleasant surprise. Most of your colleagues have lacked even the simplest of common courtesies.
The reason should be apparent, Mr. Capello. I am not a policeman. I have taken an independent interest in your situation.
Ah, of course, you're a journalist.
Nothing so prosaic. I'm a detective of sorts with an interest in the interesting, such as your case. I'm not after your money nor a scandalous tale for the Gazette, just the truth.
Ah, how quaint. Bene. Ask your questions, Mr. Holmes.
You are surprisingly composed for a man accused of murder. Not so easily shaken, I take it.
Life is full of surprises. You'd be astonished how many deals go sour due to a force majeure. One becomes skilled at adapting. I am confident this will all be set straight. Until then, I will endure.
And yet your fist tells a different story. It seems you recently found yourself in a fight.
A fight? I'm afraid not, young man. It was a minor mishap, with none such adventure. To succeed in life, you don't need to fight. One must simply be smart and persistent. I am speaking from experience.
Please, tell me how you ended up in this situation.
Well, this morning some clients arrived to finalize their purchase of a Capello modular safe. But when we opened the door, out tumbled a dead man.
And I take it this wasn't normal?
No, I normally keep my corpses in the wardrobe. Please, young man, spare me your wit. The rest of the day was a blur. I recognized the victim, and it seems so did the police. That was enough to make me the main suspect.
Who sent for the authorities?
No one. As it happens, we had a break-in last night. Nothing was stolen, but for insurance purposes, the report had to be made. So, police officers just happened to be on the premises when we discovered the body in the safe.
You mentioned you were showing your wares to some prospective buyers when the safe was opened. Who were they?
Clerks from the bank. They inspected the safe from top to bottom yesterday. I assumed the sale was just a formality at that point.
And the safe was closed?
It's usually open, but it locks automatically when the door swings closed. That's another marvelous Capello invention.
A coffin that locks itself. Marvelous indeed. Help me grasp your movements yesterday. What time did you meet the customers from the bank, and did you have any other appointments?
Yesterday, the bank clerks arrived at 10 a.m. Afterwards, I was alone in the office until my wife Augusta came in at 3 p.m. I left for home at 6:30 p.m.
And what about this morning?
Our meeting for the demonstration was set for 9 a.m. I arrived about half an hour prior in order to prepare.
I have one final inquiry. Do you recall the time at which the safe door was closed?
Young man, I may just as well ask you when you closed your cigar case. I have opened our safes a dozen times a day for a dozen years. I do not recall.
I'd like to inquire about the burglary.
I'm not sure I see the connection, but if you wish to know more, talk to Billy Lloyd, the night watchman. He scared off the thief.
Was it also Billy that discovered the burglar?
No, my wife did. She had stayed late yesterday. Poor Augusta. At least she's safer with the police than at home alone.
You say you became the suspect when the police identified the victim. Is there history between you?
Surely you jest. That man and I have never met, and never would, unless he became the first deity in history to use our products.
Some sort of family feud? I'm afraid I'm not familiar.
You must be new to Cordona. It's an old tale. Back in Italy, generations ago, the deities tried to ruin our family business. They nearly succeeded. The Capellos rightfully struck back, but there has been bad blood ever since.
And does that blood flow in you too?
I told you, sir, it's an old story, or it was. I fear this horrible event portends worse to come. My wife may be in danger as we speak.
Well, Mr. Capello, I think that's all I need from you at present. Where can I find your office?
Here, take my card. Billy should be on site to assist with the investigation. And please, sir, would you check on my wife before you depart?
Thank you. I will endeavor to speak with her before I leave the station.
Please, treat her gently. Women lack our resilience when it comes to ordeals like this. I shall eagerly await your return. After all, there's little else I can do.
Oh, Sherry, disappointing. We were putting on a show and you call it off halfway through.
Oh, what a long day.
Guards were lazy. Knowing their shift schedule, it was easy to sneak past them and find the right cell.
Yes, and with the keys and map in hand, we busted out Matthias and escaped through the catacombs.
John, no, that's not what happened. Let me remember. It was dark. His cell smelt of decay and excrement. I remember calling for him, but Matthias did not answer, so I walked inside. I saw a shape. It was moving just barely. I remember seeing his familiar yellow jacket, now torn and covered in strange brown splotches. I saw his legs twisted at an impossible angle. Then someone called to me from the door. It was an officer. He didn't yell when he saw me, understood it at a glance. He took me outside, told me to forget what I saw. In a way, I did.
Sherry, Come outside. We should take a photo of the cell. I know you want to remember the truth. Good place for a picture, Sherry.
Rest easy, Matthias. John, I must find that loathsome mutton shunter Mitchell. I will find him. It's not fair. He deserved worse.
And Matthias deserved better. There is a lot of injustice in the world, Sherry. Your skills could make a difference for others like him. salty breeze, warm sand. Oh, I wish we spent
It was an
more time
early morning.
relaxing.
For some reason, we snuck out of the house and crossed the bridge into Miner's End.
We were always adventuring, Sherry. Focus on the bone. That's what's important here.
Yes, I remember. It was huge, but wait. How did we find it? I think there was someone else. Oh, of course, Toby, our furry partner in crime, John. How could I have forgotten?
Whoa, it was quite a while ago. Hey, do you remember how we met him?
I remember bell sounds and sweat and the smell of incense. I think it was at the church in Western Miner's End. Let's find the place.
Can't wait to recall how we first met Toby.
The morning sun was shining and church bells called the town to mass, but we weren't here for a ceremony. We were running. From what? Of course. The dreaded Dudley. He was still incensed after the stolen clothes incident and wanted to teach us a lesson. I can almost see where we ran. We lost him for a moment and tried to hide. You pointed to the small courtyard and we ran in. We hid behind crates full of fish. They were stamped as fresh, but I remember my stomach did not agree with that statement.
Oh, no, that smell. It almost made me want to face Dudley. But before that happened, there was a noise. The idiot had a brain the size of a peanut, but when it came to finding us across the island, his cunning was almost supernatural.
Unlike us, he knew many kids on Cordona, and all were eager to get into his good favors. But this time, he met someone who wasn't scared of him. We heard a low growl first, then a dismissive cry, a loud bark after that, and a terrified scream a moment later.
And when we looked up, we saw only a big angry dog with ripped breeches in its jaw. I was scared, but you wanted to get closer, Sherry, remember?
He looked hungry, and I had a sandwich from home. He sniffed it cautiously and then accepted it and let me pet him. It was the first of many snacks.
Ugh, those dreaded ham and pickle sandwiches. Lucky for Toby, I'm more of a tuna guy.
John, I am starting to recall something else. Close nearby, under the building with a huge water tower on top, we saw it from the church.
hate bullies, but I am glad that this encounter led to us finding Toby.
We heard rumors that this place was haunted, strange lights in the night, people disappearing. One night we decided to investigate. Toby was with us, always happy to join on our escapades. He stopped when we neared the building and refused to go further, but I was resolute. It was pitch black, so we had to light the lamp. The smell of oil and burned hair filled the night. Then something moved in the shadows. It was a man. I remember a dirty shirt, horrifying smile, and a pair of manacles in his hand. We turned to run. When we saw that we were cut off. This one had a rope in his hands. My heart sunk. Then I heard a growl. Toby jumped the slavers with all the fury his size contained. We got the hint and ran like the clappers. And I never saw our Toby again.
We departed Cordona soon after that night, Sherry. Perhaps he was hiding or wandering. It was not unlike him to disappear for weeks on end.
Yes, you may be right. I regret going to that place. Should have listened to Toby's warnings.
And leave a haunted building unexplored? You know very well that is a mystery that would have nagged us forever.
I know, and yet...
No sense dwelling on ifs and maybes. We can choose to remember those times how we want. I'll draw a picture. You just pick the scene.
The moment when we found the bone, I want us to remember playing together.
Good choice. I would have picked the same. Always loved dinosaurs. I will make a drawing.
We found this old shipwreck soon after we arrived on Cordona. It quickly became our favorite place. I remember feeling safe.
Ahoy, our mighty frigate! All hands ahoy! Show me ye haven't become no lily-livered landlubber. It's strange to recall some of these memories. Feels like it happened in another life to someone else, and yet everything is so real.
We needed a good sail, so obviously we went and stole some sheets from Mycroft's bed. He was furious. I'm sure he still holds the grudge.
'Twas a good
We
rig
wanted to name our
ran.
ship.
Aye.
We took some planks and a bucket of paint from workers at the nearby construction site. Arabella, we called her. This
A real
helm
woman
was
of
borrowed
war,
from
she
Father's
was.
collection. He enlisted the police to try and find it, but all the while it was here helping us steer our ship.
Aye, Sherry, and ye were the best coxswain on the briny deep.
I'm starting to remember, John. We didn't stay here for long. Someone else came.
Shiver me timbers, those were the king's men. They came for our booty and to make us dance the Hepham jig.
No, John, that's not right. It was someone else. Let me focus. Of course. Dudley and his henchmen, they couldn't stand some rich kids playing on their territory. And their territory was wherever they saw us.
Those sons of biscuit eaters stood no chance against real swashbucklers.
Sure, but we ran, didn't we?
Well, yes, but only to get our weapon. Savvy? Head up that bridge, buccaneer, to the cannon. Up that bridge, to the cannon.
We wanted to teach them a lesson. Mycroft once said that this cannon was still operational. Obviously, we tried to fire it.
Aye, if we couldn't sail our Arabella, no one would. With one good shot broadside, we sent those freebooters to the Davy Jones.
John, this is getting ridiculous. We didn't fire the cannon. We couldn't fight those boys. We just ran. It was over. Just let it go.
Nar, stop your whining, you lubber. It's...
John, please, stop. I said it's over.
No, wait, Sherry. There is one more thing you need to see.
Oh, what's the point? To see another place we were chased away from?
No, this will be different. Trust me.
All right, John, one last place.
Avast ye! It's this side of the bridge. A small cave on the beach. We left a sign on its wall. It might still be there.
think I remember this place. Let me see what we can find.
This cave is my favourite place on Cordona. My favourite place in all the world.
If you're a bully, it's a bad idea to leave clothes unattended while swimming. Someone may repurpose your trousers into a surprisingly good sail. You can't put an old name on a new ship. That's why we called her Themis. This cave is my favourite place on Cordona. My favourite place in all the world.
Oi, matey, let's get her ship shape once more. This cave is my favourite place on Cordona. My favourite place in all the world.
I must admit, John, it was good to remember. Let's take a photograph.
Oh, Sherry, come on. I know you want to do it.
All hands ahoy! Weigh anchor and hoist the mizzen! Heave ho, First Mate John! We have a Spanish galleon to plunder!
We've got no time.
Are you able to help me?
I've heard something, but... Actually, no. Never mind. I know nothing. I'm sorry.
Are you able to help me?
Don't be angry with me, sir, but I don't know.
We found a rope tied to one of the books. We pulled and a suitcase emerged. How do we know where to look? What am I missing?
So, what do we have here?
This doesn't seem relevant. This doesn't seem relevant. Brown algae. We were specifically looking for it. I think we saw it on someone nearby. I think I can remember where.
All right, lead the way. All right, lead the way.
It was night. We saw a man with ink-stained fingers and a notebook. A journalist. His scared look and hasty steps smelled of adventure. We followed. Another man appeared. He was casually dressed, but his haircut and posture revealed him to be a soldier. The journalist quickly changed direction. Another disguised soldier cut the journalist off. He was cornered. We hid behind the barrels and watched.
The three men argued. The soldiers demanded something from the journalist, but he refused. Their words grew louder and someone pushed the reporter.
He stumbled and fell over the edge. After one horrible yell, he hit the ground. The soldiers vanished. We waited to be safe, then went to him.
Focus, my friend. I know you'll remember everything. Blood was everywhere. I was in shock, but you kept your cool. You noticed that his shoes had a layer of salt and brown algae stuck to his leg.
Those men demanded something from him. I wanted to find out what was so valuable as to kill for. And so we did. Made it public.
The journalist Hector Jacobson. People built a memorial after his death. That might be a good backdrop for our picture. Let's find it. It's dangerous to be a journalist these days.
May I ask you something?
That's not something I know, sir. Someone else might know more.
It's a shame what happened. At least we finished his work.
Hector Jacobson was killed for his story, yet it still came to light. A lesson for those less noble. You cannot bury the truth.
I think here is a good place for a picture, Sherry.
John, that's it. We've revisited all the places I wanted from my diary. Even without the rose-tinted glasses, it was good to remember, my friend.
To dungeons old and caverns deep.
Wait, what? Is this Mother's magnifying glass? How did it end up here? What happened?
Sherry, you really need to learn to let miracles happen. The whole world is one big, unresolved, chaotic miracle.
But they will become sequential if you take a closer look. I do remember what Mother told us, but that explains nothing.
Just let things happen, all right? Besides, this little miracle will look perfect in our manner, don't you think? To dungeons old and caverns. Deep.
The best a flea market? Take a look. Maybe something will catch your eye. I hope you like what you bought.
Oh, the room looks nice now. It's comforting to see the way it was meant to be.
My mother always preferred to spend her rare moments of lucidity with me.
That's true. She even stopped Mycroft from joining you. Remember?
I do. He didn't show it, but he was upset. I think Mother paid more attention to me because I was younger.